Donald Trump just went absolutely off on Elon Musk as he's saying that he is not going to comment on it, saying he's not even thinking about him, but he is absolutely fuming right now as Donald Trump and Elon Musk, for the first time ever in their super long relationship of about a year, have found a rift. Remember, Elon Musk did not support Donald Trump in the primary. Elon Musk had his spaces with DeSantis. Elon Musk wanted someone else to be in that position. He only ended up going with Trump because that was the only person left. And he rightfully so does see that our economy is in a very bad position. We cannot continue to go trillions of dollars in debt and expect nothing to happen. That's not how that works. You can't just spin forever like a person. If you go bankrupt, every single one of us, the best way to look at it, I was thinking of an analogy. How can we describe it to someone? What is debt? What does it really mean? And the best way to describe it is that you, as a taxpayer, assuming you are, you're going to have to work 4 years of your life. You only get 70 to 80 on average. We'll say 100 because all of us here are special, right? But we'll say 100. You get 4% of your entire life stolen from you by the government of work. That's essentially for free because the average debt per person is $200,000. And assuming you even have a high-paying job, per taxpayer is $200,000. Assuming you have a high-paying job and you have a $50,000 a year tax burden, which most people aren't even anywhere near that in taxes, that's way above average, you would be slaving away for 4 extra years of your life just to pay for what we already have bought. We don't even get anything from it. You probably didn't even receive anything from that. You didn't get any help from the military being way more expensive. You didn't get any help from us funding foreign wars. You didn't get any of that. And yet you now are going to have to sacrifice. And it's not that you already did sacrifice. You will, over the course of your life, have to sacrifice at least 4 years, probably more. And the reason why I say 4 years is because even if you are a lower bracket, there are other people at higher brackets that will even you out. So we'll just say an average of 4 years for everyone. Because you're expected to contribute less than, for example, Bill Gates, who's expected to contribute more, even though he finds a bunch of loopholes. But still, you get the point. You're expected one thing, they're expected another, but regardless, it is still 4 years of work that everyone on average is going to have to do to pay for what we already have paid for. We didn't even get much from it. It was mostly wasted on stimulus packages. It was mostly wasted on unfair and stupid things when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid and unfair military packages that didn't do anything and was funneled back to the politicians. That's how they get super rich. None of it matters. And yet we have to pay for it. And yet they want to go even further into debt. They want to now say, okay, we've already stolen 4 years of your life. We're going to steal 5 and then 6 and then 7. How many years are they going to steal from us of working? That's what it comes down to. There is no easy out. We're not going to come in and be saved. We have to pay our debt, or else we have runaway inflation, or else China is going to start having a way higher quality of life than us. And we're going to have to be way harder working in terms of the number of hours we put in for the same products. That's what it comes down to. But we have a big show today. Right now, Joe Altman, he was going to come in, but once again, they're forcing him to stay in court, having to deal with the Mike Lindell case, the Eric Coomer case. It is disgusting what they're doing with that. They're trying to steal large amounts of money, tie up capital, and punish anyone who's willing to speak out for the truth. That's what's happening. Everyone can see it, clear as day. Joe Hoft wrote a really good article on it. And I posted that on my X, by the way. That's a really good one to read, which goes over how Eric Coomer is basically crying, allegedly, and he's happy to sue. So we'll say allegedly with all of this stuff, but he's crying. He's acting like a man-child and trying to use this lawfare as a way to attack people, victimize himself. It's all BS. No one actually is buying it. But because of the way the court system is, they're able to successfully go forward with this and could even have a significant payment that they require regardless of if that's fair or not. And obviously it's not. It doesn't even make any sense. And so we're gonna talk about all of that today. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to have Joe join us by video call. Probably not, though, because they're tying him up big time with this case. They're doing it on purpose. He can't be here to cover the important news this week because of that. So they're taking his time. They're stopping him from being able to run his companies. They're stopping him from being able to participate in the show. And they are doing all of this on purpose. We'll have more details on it. We have to. Today on Untamed.
Take two. Cut.
Take two.
I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
All right, follow me with this.
But they've been using their power to obstruct and stop justice from taking place.
You want to pray us out?
I do.
We'll pray for Tina. And let's have conversations about what truth is.
So I want to show you this cut where Elon and Trump, after Elon decided to go basically all out on Trump, then Trump decided to go all out on Elon in a massive attack war. We now have this clip. Go ahead and play A1. This is Trump exclaiming how he feels about it.
You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
Yeah, he picked up. Look, there's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
They have a lot of leverage over each other.
Oh, there's no question about that. Look, Elon Musk, obviously the richest man on the planet, the biggest Republican donor in the history of Republican donors.
Wow. So Elon is now trying desperately to call Trump after he called him a pedophile, after he let Elon let Trump watch his kids. We can see the pictures of it. Trump is walking along with little X, having a great time. No one really believes Trump is a pedophile, and yet that is what Elon insinuated. It's important to keep in mind in this backstory, everyone who understands the impact of X being free speech has to have at least some love for Elon Musk. Everyone who understands the impact of a president not being fully controlled by the elites has to have some love for Donald Trump. And so we can't hate either of them fully, but we can look at this and say, I have some context for you. Elon Musk, a lot of the people he is following on X, he is friends with, the Wall Street dude, whatever his name is, he's a total asshole. He is friends with Ian Miles Chung, who is one of the biggest bitches in the world. He is a slob who tries to get involved in other people's politics. He is really, truly one of the least good people I've ever seen with any kind of platform. And that's who Elon wants to be friends with. Elon decided to be with Ashley St. Clair, who is also, again, one of the worst people I've ever seen. Extremely vindictive, extremely attackful, if that's even an adjective. She is not someone who I like at all. I've had an interaction with her in the past that was very bad, where she basically told me we were having a debate over DMs about something that had happened in New York where a white guy was beat up by a bunch of black guys. And I said, this is racial. And she said, no, it's not racial. How dare you say that? And she literally told me, you need to get punched in the face. She said that to me. You need to get punched in the face because I was trying to stand up and call it a racist attack that happened in New York, which is where she lives. But because she wants to virtue signal and she wants to be on her high horse, and now, of course, Elon learned the same thing. Elon doesn't want to talk to her either. Which is just peak irony there, because Elon shouldn't be with her in the first place, honestly. He should not be friends with these people. And I don't care. It's his decision. I don't care from that perspective. He can be friends with whoever he wants, in theory. It just shows a little bit about his character, and it shows that he is not perfect. He is not someone who we can trust fully. The HB1 thing, that sucked. Those are the negative things about Elon. We also have a lot of positive things too. Elon Musk has, for the most part, been really truly sticking to the free speech thing. He has allowed people to criticize the Israeli government. He has allowed people to criticize Trump, the Democrats in full force, to cover the Hunter Biden stuff that other websites still ban for the most part, other social media sites. So he's allowed all of this. And he has done it in a way that no one expected was possible from a social media billionaire, because it's never happened before. And on top of that, he did a good job making sure that Trump was elected. He did a good job making sure that Kamala Harris stayed away from the office. Now, as many faults as we can have on Trump, and there's plenty of them, he's so much better than Kamala that's not even funny. If Kamala was in office, it wouldn't be a $2.5 trillion added to the debt bill. It would be 10 more trillion, a trillion more a year. Without any of the good stuff, without any of the tax breaks, it would just be pure evil, pure bad. They would open up the border even more, another 10 million come in. It would be the end of our country. It would have destroyed our country if Kamala Harris had won. And that's where it starts to get crazy. So I want to get Apollo's opinion on this. I want to hear, Apollo, what you think the right move is for Trump here. Should he take Elon's call? Should they talk? Or did Elon go too far with the pedophile stuff and the Epstein stuff? Is their relationship unrepairable?
No, he should take his call. He's going to take his call. I guarantee you they've talked. I just think this is silly. I mean, we had bombings going on yesterday. So, let Batman and Batman work it out.
There are people who are being systematically killed in Ukraine right now, and in Russia, and in Gaza. As we speak, they're dropping bombs on targeted areas. Kyiv is being attacked, one of the largest cities in the world. It's a nice place. If you ever have been there before, if you ever go there, you'll see beautiful buildings, a lot of great people, nice people. A lot of Christians do live in Ukraine. And yet, that's not the focus. While everyone's distracted, there's a bunch of bombs that are going and being dropped. And there's one video going around yesterday that I believe was from 2023 that just shows a massive explosion. And there aren't as many videos of the bombings that have happened this week, but they're similar. These are in cities. These are not just military targets. These are civilians who are being taken out. And it's as a direct response by Russia to Ukraine using a drone strike on a huge portion of their aircraft carriers and their fighter jets. They took them all out. Very successfully, I will say. It's actually pretty impressive. A huge percent, around 30%. Is that right, Apollo? What was the percent?
Yeah, 30-35.
30-35, which is insane. Especially, it's one thing if they do that at the beginning of the war, but after they've already been so battered down, had so many people lose their lives, to still be able to do it, it does suggest to me, right, that there is certainly a lot more U.S. influence to this than we're even being told. There's a lot more NATO influence to this. I don't think Ukraine deserves the credit here. Everyone's giving them the credit. Oh, they're so much more powerful than we think. I think the U.S. is using this to test some of their equipment. Now, I do wonder. So we have another clip, by the way. So this is Dana Bash weighing in, which is it's just peak news. Go ahead and play A2.
Joining us now, someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, "I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem." He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well. It was a short conversation. He didn't seem very exercised about it. And the interesting thing is, of course, the context of this is how many people who are in both men's orbits are trying to broker a peace deal, so to speak, and trying to get them to talk because of the concern about the fallout in so many directions. I mean, the blast radius from this fallout is really, really big and very wide. But right now he said not interested in that, and he's moving on. And in typical Donald Trump fashion, John, he, before I even asked the question, wanted to talk about what he wanted the storyline to be today, about the economy. He was talking about gas prices. He said he was waiting for the jobs numbers to come out, which I think is about 2 minutes from now. So as he has done his entire career, not just political, but since he was a businessman, trying to push out the narrative and push out the story that he thinks is the most advantageous for him, and he thinks that's the economy now. But, of course, we did briefly talk about Elon Musk, and the headline is he says he has no plans to talk to him right now.
So that's what he wants to be publicly out there. And that is a good public statement. I wish you well. Respectful, nice. And I do agree with Apollo. Within the next couple weeks, they'll talk. Elon hopefully will get Trump to make some concessions on the spending. We cannot have the bill be this big. Elon's right about that. Trump should have never disrespected that in the first place. He was put in office to balance the budget. He needs to do that. There's no exceptions. So that's Trump's fault. Trump did deserve for Elon to go after him, but he did not deserve, and that's my opinion, he did not deserve for Elon to go after him as hard as he did. And we say as hard as he did. At the end of the day, it's not really going to matter. They're going to talk in the next couple of weeks. Everything will be, for the most part, fine. Trump will make the concessions, hopefully, that he needs to make, and he'll go from $2.5 trillion over the next 10 years to a budget that's actually balanced for the first time, really in my adult lifetime, which is insane to think about. That needs to happen. Can we never balance the budget? What's the plan, to go into debt forever? That doesn't work. It does not work. So anyway, I very much appreciate both of their responses after the big blow up. But it does get worse, though, because I will tell you, Trump right now is having very heated conversations that aren't allowed to go public with staffers, including, and so Stephen Miller especially. He has had a conversation with Stephen Miller that happened this morning where they were talking about potentially trying to repair the relationship with Elon, and Trump went off. Trump went absolutely off on Stephen Miller about this. And by the way, Elon has unfollowed Stephen Miller, which also makes it even more crazy. So I wonder, does that mean we're not going to have to worry about the HB1 drama anymore? Maybe that case is closed. But Trump is going off. And here's what Peter Doocy thinks. So Peter Doocy thinks that Trump is going to say adios to his Tesla. Play A3. Or not A3.
A few months ago
A3,
to try to help Elon Musk's business while it was being vandalized. We're told that Tesla, still sitting there, the red Tesla with Florida tags, is either going to be given away or sold off. And we are told that it was about a month that Elon Musk was wearing thin on Trump. So this was not a sudden exit and then blow up. There was about a month that he was wearing thin, the president's word. Something else, there was some reporting today about the possibility of a Trump and Elon Musk phone call to make nice. Aides are telling me that is not something they are tracking. It's possible that some staffers might try to talk to Musk, but no Trump and Musk call, at least not that we know about. We did hear from the president yesterday, and he didn't sound mad, but he sounded disappointed.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore, but I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office.
The lowest blows yesterday came from Elon. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be...
Is Elon wrong? The Republicans, by the way, only barely won, even with Elon helping in the Senate. We have a slight majority. We have a slight majority in the House, only a few seats. And so that's why it makes it even harder. When you already have a slight majority, and then you also have turmoil on top of that, and then you also have Trump trying to push through a bill that is massively further into debt for our country, something has to stop. We have to make a sacrifice somewhere. Where are we going to cut? Somewhere spending has to be cut. We cannot tariff our way fully out of this. Tariffs can help. A better tax structure can help. Better economy can help. But none of that's enough on its own. We need that plus also spending cuts. And there are places we can easily cut. People give me a hard time for saying the military, but why do we need a military budget 6 times more than the next biggest? We don't. Unless we want to use that military budget to orchestrate deportation somehow, then that would make sense. That would make a lot more sense. But Peter Doocy believes Elon and Trump's relationship maybe even be worse than that, to the point that he's not only not going to try to repair it, but he's going to literally sell his Tesla and could even take away some of the contracts, the federal contracts for Elon, which would be dumb because Elon's SpaceX is by far the best way to get things into space. If you go with someone else, you're going to be paying 10 times more for the same thing. In the future, it'll be 100 times more for the same thing. So it doesn't make any sense. From that perspective, Elon Musk is kind of protected with his contracts because they're so much better than anyone else. But another company could come along. Maybe Blue Origin will start trying to get into it and maybe they'll have some success. Maybe we'll see another massive space company that comes and pops out of nowhere from Richard Branson or someone else. You never know. So that's all stuff to keep in mind. Now, Jesse Waters also decided to weigh in on this. Go ahead and play A4.
My issue is that the media said that Musk was the co-president. He doesn't look like the co-president anymore.
No.
The media said Trump was doing favors for Elon Musk. Well, if you look at this big, beautiful bill, there's no favors for Elon Musk in it at all. Now, the big, beautiful bill, now he's got a beef with it. These are the things that Trump ran on and won on. Wall, ice skies so you could do mass deportations. Military, F-35 ships, pay raises for the troops, and tax relief for everybody, no tax on tips. These are the things that won him the election. He didn't run on balancing the budget.
Yeah.
So this is the priority right now. You have 4 years to balance the budget. Yeah, there's a lot of pork in this thing. There's always a little pork, all right? But this is not a spending bill. This is the signature piece of Donald Trump's second term. This may be the last major piece of legislation Trump ever passes. Well, he might have 3 terms, but for now, we're saying this is it.
Well, 3 terms and 3 more years. But that's true. It is the big finale. It's the big thing. And that is what makes it even more terrifying because it needs to be nearly perfect. We can't have any mistakes, and we have the ability. We have people who are smart enough. We know what we need. Trump said it himself dozens of times on the campaign trail and on X, on Truth Social. He very clearly stated that we cannot just keep going into debt. We have to balance the budget. That was his campaign promise. That's what he said he would do. And he has the ability to. We have the votes to. We can do it right now. We can do it right now. We don't have to wait. We can fix the problem now. And he's only fixing part of it. Fix all of it. Fix all of it. Don't worry about the aftermath. Don't worry about the consequences because not doing it, not fixing it, the consequences will be way worse. That's a fact. I'm going to read a couple of the comments, by the way, right here. We're up to, by the way, close to 700 viewers right now, which is just awesome. Just awesome. We're climbing fast in viewers. Welcome everyone who is watching for the first time. This is a show that I do with my co-host, Joel Altman, Apollo back there producing, as well as multiple other people who are running show production, who are running script and media and everything and making the show incredible, making it perfect. Or at least as close to perfect as we can. It's perfect. As close to perfect as we can make it. So I want you to come join us. I want you to hang out with us every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Today's Friday, so I won't see you for a couple of days, but I want you here. I want you to be part of this as we grow it to hopefully one of the top shows in the world. It is the fastest growing show right now on Rumble. It is getting a lot of attention. And I want that attention to be used for good. You know, sometimes we do a little bit of clickbait, right? But at the end of the day, the show is really well produced and you're always going to learn something new while you're here, especially when Joe's here. When I'm doing it by myself, it's still good. But when Joe and I are together, it's unreal. It is. I love the show when Joe's here 10 times more than when I'm doing it by myself. So I can't wait for him to be back. If you're just tuning in, Joe is right now dealing with extreme lawfare. He is in court battling with Mike Lindell against Eric Comer in a case that I think is total BS, that I think is literally the epitome of evil, where they're purposely tying up resources, trying to drain bank accounts and take away fighters out of the equation in an unfair way, lying, pretending to be victims. It's just so disgusting what they're doing with that. And I've been praying that Joe is able to absolutely annihilate them, that Mike is able to absolutely annihilate them legally, to the point that there's no precedent set in the future for this case or any other case like it to be successful, and the opposite to happen, for them to be able to just absolutely destroy it so that no one even tries it again. So I'm going to read a couple of these comments here. It's unconstitutional to have a standing army for longer than 24 months. Our original Navy was privately owned. Well said, Jeff. Then there's also, let me read a couple. Let me find a good one. Blue Origin is retarded. Richard Branson is a pedo. Blue Origin is retarded. I kind of like Richard Branson though, I think. Maybe. But he probably, unless the rumors, I mean, there is stuff about him. I will say that. Maybe we'll have to look into it more. I've made a couple posts in the past. I don't know if I believe it though with Richard. Maybe. I could see, he's not someone I would rule out, certainly. And I would like to see him do more with his money. That helps our cause. He needs to do that. So what happens if the 1BBB does not pass? Good question. So if the bill doesn't pass, what we're going to see is it being restructured in some way or another. We have to, again, with a slim margin in the Senate, somehow pass this thing. Right now, it's not looking good because multiple senators are already detracting from it. Marjorie Taylor Greene now regretting her vote in the House because of certain parts of the bill, as well as others in the House regretting it. So all it takes is if we have 7 or 8 people in the House that regret it and decide not to pass the next version of it, then we're kind of screwed. So if it doesn't pass, it is a very real possibility that no major bill will pass. They'll have to pass something to avoid a government shutdown. But in order to get big changes in there, in order to change anything substantially, and why that's so dangerous, by the way, is because right now, the current way the government is set up is just to spend a bunch of money like crazy. We're going $1 trillion into debt further every single year at the low end, up to $2 trillion. If you look at the graph, and I'll put it up later in the show, I'll send it to Paulo while we're at commercial break, and we can put that up. You can see in the graph the surplus versus the negative side of how much we've taken in versus spent every single year. It has been a disaster over the last 6 years. I was already sounding the alarm about the national debt before COVID happened, before we saw it being blown out even more. But now our government is basically still in a state of COVID because no major legislation has passed since then. So we're still paying for a lot of these programs and stuff that are just pure waste. We're still not having an allocation that's high towards ICE and towards border security and deportations. And we're not going to get that unless a major bill passes. And there is a real possibility now, especially with all the turmoil, that it won't pass. So that's why it's scary, and eventually something will go through, but it will be a fraction of the good stuff that we want. And all Trump had to do is just make the bill good the first time. Don't go into debt further. He has to cut at least 500 more billion out of it, at least minimum. And there's so many ways you can do that. I would like to see $1 trillion cut out of it, but 500 billion minimum from his current budget proposal is absolutely necessary. And if he doesn't even do 250 billion more, then all of Elon's attacks on him were for nothing. That's the least. The least he can do is say, Elon, you're right. You're right about, I'm mad at you for doing this, but you're right about that. We're going to cut it some. So that's what needs to happen. Can't believe that gangbanger is coming back so the taxpayers can foot his prison bill for 20 years. Still gets deported. I mean, well, they're the judges, these idiot judges, radical far left judges, because a lot of them are. My mom, by the way, ran for judge before in Georgia when I was younger. She did not win that. She almost won, but she did not win. She had a great run. And so because of that, she knows how these systems work. And she's taught me since I was a kid about law and about this stuff. And so I can tell you right now, most of those people are evil little bastards who have the most insane and corrupt and disgusting lives outside of the public eye that you can possibly imagine. Total degenerates. And yet those are the people who are allowed to say, oh yeah, I want to have one of them come back. I want to have an illegal alien come back who we know is a gang member and be part of the country. And not only is it about that one person, it sends a message to all the rest of them. Hey, why don't you come in? No big deal. Why don't you come and join us? Branson has an island too. Something about those whom own don't own an island if you're a billionaire. That's the key. Don't own an island. What are you doing? Have you not learned your lesson? Do you not know? No islands. Just If you want to buy something, buy property on the beach. Buy a nice property next to Mar-a-Lago. Go be friends with Trump. Be Trump's neighbor. You don't need an island. It's just going to look bad. It's not worth it. Island stock plummet. Needs to go down. The value of you need to be able to buy an island for cheap because nobody wants them. Nobody who can afford it. That needs to be what happens. Yeah, I mean, Richard Branson, the only reason why I'm kind of nice to him is because he has, at the very least, stayed out of the evils that Bill Gates and other billionaires have been involved with. At the very least, he's not part of the atheist cult. I don't think. I think he is. Well, actually, maybe he is. He's not part of the formerly Jewish atheist cult. He may be part of the atheist cult, though. I don't know. So, you know what? Maybe, you're right. We'll look into Richard Branson more. But the fact that it's not a good look to own an island, it's just not a good look. My daughter-in-law, she's doing great. She came home after 4 days. It is really miraculous. She lost so much blood. Well, I wasn't expecting to read that. My wife is pregnant right now, and that's my biggest fear is having to worry about that. Dang, why don't we pray? Why don't we actually pray for you right now? Because that is absolutely wonderful news that she is home and she's hopefully doing well. Dear Lord, please help this baby who has lost blood, who's dealing with the beginning of their life being extremely hard. Help to heal. That sucks. Help to heal and restore. What's her name? Can you give me her name? I want to say her name. If you don't mind. If not, you don't have to. By the way, if you don't want to put that out on Rumble, but we're all praying for you. That is absolutely awful. That happened, but she will. It sounds like she's doing better, so that's really good. That is a beautiful thing. Hopefully, in a few days, in a few weeks, she'll be doing great, and she'll be looking forward to life and giggling and having fun, and just enjoying life. So that's what we're all praying for. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty sad, but hopefully it gets better. No, we are not, Chris. I'm amazed that so many people have no idea about what is really going on in the Matrix. That's a separate comment. Amen. Hopefully, we're all praying for you. All of us are fighting for you. All of us want to make sure that everything goes well with the baby. Amen. Indeed. If everyone comment amen. Everyone who prayed for just now with us comment amen. I like that. I think that's good. It's good. It shows the level of support. So let's go ahead. That's a little distracting in the most positive way possible. But let's go ahead and go on to the next block, which is Elon saying that. One second. So we know that Elon said that, right? We know that Elon said that Trump is on the Epstein list. That was his insinuation. And a lot of people are wondering, can Trump sue Elon for saying that? Now, the detracting side of that would be, no, he can't sue him because technically Trump's name is in the files. So he could sue him for anything, but he wouldn't have a case theoretically unless Elon specifically was being derogatory about it. Now, the other side to that is he was implying with what he said that Trump wasn't just in the files, that he was participating in the rituals. He was participating in the satanic pedophile cult. That was the insinuation. And so from that standpoint, you can't legally insinuate, even if you don't say it directly, something like that in such a high profile way without expecting a potential lawsuit. That may happen. That may happen. Thank you, by the way, praying for your wife, Matt. Having a baby is an amazing, stressful, joyful time. Try having 3 under 3. That's what we're about to have. We're about to have 3 babies, all under 3 years old. And I can tell you, we're trying our best. It is very hard. It is very, very hard. Especially more so on my wife than me. God bless her for what she's doing. If she's watching right now, which sometimes she watches, she's at home with them right now. And doing an amazing job, but it's very stressful on her, especially because I have been working a lot. And so I'm very glad to have her. And she's an amazing wife. So the Democrat Party also calling for the release of Epstein files. I think that's probably the funniest part about it. And a lot of people had the low IQ. Oh, well, look, this was 3D chess. I don't think it matters. I mean, Democrats calling for it, Republicans calling for it. They're not going to do it, most likely, unless Trump says, I don't care anymore. I don't care about the people who I'm friends with and their friends. I don't care. I'm just going to do it. And that's what I hope happens. And I heard today that Trump is seriously considering and planning to do something big with Epstein. He is not just going to do nothing. He's going to do something with it. Potentially releasing the entire list unredacted. That is seriously being floated right now, partially in response to Elon to show that Trump is not actually on the list. But at the same time, anything that you do with this, we do have a clip of Trump talking about it. So let's go ahead and play B5, where Trump is talking about the island and talking about what is going on there. This is very important context in what we're seeing here. Go ahead and play B5.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
you raised.
That's Trump's opinion on it. And who said why am I wearing a lab coat? What do you mean? You mean my suit? Okay, I'm never wearing this again. Thanks a lot. You ruined it for me. I'm taking it off. I'm never wearing this again. You ruined my suit, a lab coat. What do you think I am, Anthony Fauci? Screw that. Bye lab coat. Man, you just ruined my entire day. I love my suit jacket. That cost me $100. I was $100 down the drain because of you. And fortunately today I'm still wearing a nice shirt, so it's fine. Paul zoomed out so you can see my entire outfit. You can see my beautiful shoes. I got my green socks to match my green shirt. So I'm all decked out today. I'm looking good. I'm ready. And now that I don't have my lab coat on anymore, now that I'm no longer Anthony Fauci, all babies are beautiful. That is true. And look, my first two babies, you always worry about it, but it was fine. Everything was fine. Even when we were going into birth on our second one, two things happened. First of all, she didn't move for a while, which made me, after my wife's water broke. And so we were like, oh my God, is everything okay? Turns out everything was fine. And then the second thing that happened was when she was being born, the umbilical cord actually got wrapped around her neck while she was being born. And it was really scary because for a split second, I wondered, is that why the baby wasn't moving? Is that why we didn't see the baby moving? And then a split second after that, wee, wee, the best sound in the world, the best sound in the world is when the baby cries for the first time. There is no better audible than that. And they unwrapped it, and everything was fine. I believe it wasn't wrapped around the entire time. It just happened as she was being born. So there's no consequences. My baby's totally fine and healthy. Walking around, smiling, laughing. She's one of the most incredible gifts ever given. And so yeah, there's a little bit of a story about what happened when I was. So you always worry a little bit, but it's always fine. In the end, it's almost always fine. It's normally a happy, successful birth. And in the case that it's not, it's extremely difficult for anyone to deal with that. But God's always going to be there. God's always going to be there, and God's always going to be there to protect and be there for babies. That's a beautiful thing. But let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna read a couple more comments. Nothing smells better than newborn's head. Why is that so true? Why is that literally so true? If you've ever smelled a baby's head, it sounds weird, but there's no better smell, especially your own baby. I've actually never smelled. Maybe I did. My cousins maybe, but that was a while ago when I was younger. I haven't smelled a baby's head in a long time, and so when I smelled my baby's head for the first time after that long break, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing this my entire life. This is better than this is like the best high in the world. You don't need. What do you need drugs or alcohol for? Just smell your baby's head and you're good to go. It really is the best. Absolutely, Matt. Beautiful sound. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, no, you're right, Jeff. I mean, like we've been so focused on just covering the news. The comment section is the best part about a show. It really is the best part. So RFJ also admitting that he's been on the plane. This is kind of getting into a little bit more of dicey territory. Go ahead and play R6.
You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and Mary, my wife, to Rapid City, South Dakota, to go fossil hunting for a weekend. And but otherwise, I was never on his jet alone. I've been very open about this from the beginning. This was in '93, so it was 30 years ago. It was before anybody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's, his nefarious issues. And I agree with you that all of this information should be released. And we should get real answers on what happened to Jeffrey Epstein and any of the high-level political people that he was involved with. All of that should be open to the public. It should be absolutely transparent. And, I don't see why any of those records would have any redactions in them. Why would we be hiding that from the American public?
Well, you might.
That may be the pessimistic way to look at that would be that may be why he's not allowed to talk about certain things. You never know what they can get footage on you of, even if it's not anything illegal that you don't want to go out to the public. That's the pessimistic way to look at it. The optimistic way is RFK has been one of the only heroes in the Trump administration that has taken action so far. Kash Patel has the ability to be a hero. He talks like a hero. He needs to take the action to back it up. With RFK, though, he is already right now implementing things. He's taken out some of the chemicals already. Skittles, for example, one of the most harmful chemicals in Skittles has been taken out. He's already led a cultural movement against stuff, which is maybe even better than banning it, because then people are going to know what to look for in all products, not just the ones that have it banned. And on top of that, he's changed the way that school lunches are. He's done real positive things so far, a lot of them. And the other members of the Trump administration need to do more of that. And he's being transparent about it. And by the way, a lot of people believe, and there is evidence to support the fact, that Trump probably did go on the plane before, on Epstein's plane before. He probably did go to Epstein's house. He probably did do things like that. I mean, they were friends, but only for a short time. We know Epstein was also at Trump's house. They were friends. And a lot of people think that just because Epstein did the trafficking and did all the evil stuff, that was all he did. That wasn't all he did. You could go to Epstein's house and just have a normal dinner. That was part of the allure of it. That was one of the reasons why he was able to so successfully get all these rich people to go to the island and then get tapes of them and then blackmail them. That's how he did that. He did it because he was really good at throwing on the disguise, putting up the party and making it look all nice and fancy, and that you have to be there because you need to be in the know. And he was very manipulative. He was extremely good at making you feel comfortable and then getting blackmail tapes on you and making you feel like you were missing out on something, that you weren't part of the club if you weren't friends with him. A sociopath with no remorse, no ability to even think with emotion of other people's feelings. He can't do it. He was not capable of that. And so that can be very alluring, and it can very easily trick even successful people, even smart people into going along with it. But at the same time, does that mean Trump participated in the little kid stuff? No, he didn't. We know that for a fact. Trump literally kicked out Epstein from his club because Epstein was flirting with the girls of some of the members. Epstein was trying to sleep with the kids of members, 15, 16 for the most part, but I think there were a couple that were younger than that he tried to sleep with. And so Trump said, get out of here. Go fly him back to Epstein Island, buddy. And after that, there wasn't really correspondence between Trump and Epstein. After that, after the charges were filed, Trump didn't talk to him again. That's how you're supposed to handle it. I mean, what else would you do? That would be like if someone you were friends with, all of a sudden you learn they're a pedophile. Okay, well then you don't talk to them again. Now there's also people like Bill Gates who knew about the charges and still wanted to hang out with Epstein. That right there is when you start to get into territory of it's very obvious what the connection is there. When you go to meet with Epstein dozens of times to the point that your wife divorces you from it and becomes one of the richest people on earth, Melinda Gates, which I respect, by the way, that she was more loyal to her husband than she was to her ex-husband now than she was to saying that. But she still, I hope she does eventually reveal everything. I kind of hope that happens. From a selfish standpoint, I mean, really, a wife and husband, even if they go into a divorce, should not be talking bad about each other on a fundamental level. But in this case, I want to know the drama. I want to know the juicy drama. And yes, how dare you, Jeff? How dare you talk about Biden sniffing babies? That's different. Biden sniffing babies is different. That's different. That's not the same. That's a creepy sniff. Also, those are 12-year-olds. That's different. That's different. But I mean, it really is the best. How dare you? It really is the best smell in the world. Epstein's attorney said Epstein has nothing bad on Trump. Get over yourself. Exactly. Epstein's attorney literally said, and by the way, that is illegal. And I hope you don't think that I'm saying this to be negative about Trump. I'm not. I'm saying this to be honest about what happened and also say that no, Trump, from an honest standpoint, from looking at the facts, from looking at the story and getting ahead of a little bit of it, by the way, because some of this is about to start being a story in the mainstream media. So we're getting ahead of a little bit of it. But Trump did not do anything illegal with underage girls. He didn't. That never happened. He wouldn't do that. He's not a bad person. And and so when it comes to Epstein's attorney, we can actually put that up. You want to pull that up, Apollo? I don't think we have it in the media file today, but we can pull that up. So see if you can find it on X and throw it up there, Apollo. His attorney made a tweet where he said that no, Epstein didn't have anything bad against Donald Trump, and he asked him. He said, "Hey Epstein, buddy, you got anything? You got any dirt on Trump? Do you have anything bad against Trump?" He wanted to know. And Epstein's answer was, "No, I don't." He wouldn't have the answer of "no, I don't" if he did. That's his attorney. They have attorney-client privilege. He can tell him everything. But that's where it starts to get into a little bit of weird territory because attorney-client privilege is not supposed to be broken even after death. It's still technically illegal for him to do this. So he may get in trouble and could lose his legal license, but he still did the right thing. And also, I don't think he cares. Maybe he's old. He's already rich. I don't think he cares if he loses his legal license or if there's consequences. He's not practicing anymore. So that is note to self, right? Note to anyone who hires legal counsel for anything. Don't hire a lawyer that's too old. Because if they just decide, I don't care about my career anymore, they may decide to reveal what you told them despite attorney-client privilege, which says they're not supposed to. Just something to keep in mind. Again, I'm glad he did. The consequences for him, not for us. So thank you for doing that. He helped us out and took the bullet himself for it. There it is from David Schoen. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively, that's 3 strong words in a row, that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. Did David? And he said, no, nothing that can hurt Trump. Not even one thing. And at that time, if Epstein did have something and he told his lawyer, they could have used that. They could have used that to get off, potentially, with a lighter sentence. They could have used that. And they didn't. So that really is proof, with those 3 strong words to describe it, unequivocal proof that Trump is not on there, which does mean Elon's a bit of a liar. Which sucks to see, because Elon has so much potential to be one of the greatest people to ever impact the earth in a positive way. And he already has. He's done so much good. He didn't need to say that. Even if Elon had worded it like this, Imagine Elon just said, he could have said, I wonder why Trump isn't releasing the Epstein files. Is it because he's on it? Question mark. If he'd said it that way, it's still bad, but you can recover from that. You can still say, okay, well, I was just trying to get Trump to release it, which Trump should do. And it is still a little fishy that he's not, but it's not because he's on it. It's because his donors are on it. I've said that so many times. That's the facts. And some of his donors, by the way, aren't even real conservatives. They aren't even real Trump supporters that are only donating to him because they don't want the Epstein list released. They're only donating to him for political favors because they want their companies that they own stock in or that they own outright to get the big contracts. That's why they're donating. That's why they support him, because they know they can work with him in that way. They're not real conservatives. They don't really support our ideas or care about the things we care about. They're just doing it out of selfish interest. And those are the donors to Trump that are on the list. Those are the people who have been to the island and who he is protecting and who he should not protect, but he still is, because if you're friends with someone and you want to be loyal to them, I get it. I get it. But it's not worth it. At some point, the shoe has to drop. And I want it to be before all these people die. All these old people, some of them younger, by the way, but most of them are older. If they die, then there is no justice. There is no prison time. And so it has to happen now. We can't wait. We can't wait. It has to happen right now. So that's the Trump Elon story. We also have a couple other things from today. So here's an article from the BBC on Israel bombing Beirut. Yesterday, while Elon and Trump were fighting, Israel breached a ceasefire agreement it had with Lebanon and bombed Beirut, claiming they were targeting Hezbollah drone facilities. So go ahead and put up C1 there. You can see Israel strikes southern Beirut on eve of religious holiday, which probably was intentional. If you remember Hamas, when they chose to do the thing that Israel let happen, they did it on a holy day for the Israeli people, where they were inside worshiping and weren't allowed to be on their phones. They did that on purpose. This seems like the same thing, where they're intentionally doing it on the eve of a religious holiday, so that on the religious holiday, they're forced to deal with the aftermath rather than being able to celebrate the religious holiday. So it's definitely petty, but it's war. I mean, that's what people aren't going to be expected to be anything other than that in war. And they're all going too far. I hate all of these conflicts. Stop with the killing of people. Stop with everyone dying and all these resources being wasted. Just stop it. Stop it. It's not worth it. But if you look at that and you look at the damage from it, you look at the fact that it was targeting specifically things that were going to Hamas and other places too. It targeted those facilities. Some of the stuff from those facilities, some of the drones was going to Hamas. It also ended up taking the lives, I believe, and there's still varying reports about this. It's very hard to find good information because it's the language barrier, and also the mainstream media refuses to cover it. They refuse to cover it because they don't want people, some of them do, but a lot of the outlets don't want to be seen by anyone because they don't want everyone to know what's really happening here. So as a result, we don't know all the details, but I believe there were innocent people who just worked at a drone factory who died. So that's sad, obviously. And again, this is all happening as we're all being distracted. We're all being distracted by all this Elon Trump stuff. And that's happening. Russia and Ukraine are escalating rapidly to World War III levels. We're seeing also attacks on... So here's the video. We actually do have a video. Go ahead and play C2, the video of the bombings in Beirut. This is crazy.
صورت كل شيء. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله. الله أكبر.
So there it is. You can see some of the bombings, and they always say Allah Akbar whenever it's happening, because if they do die, they believe saying that will send them to heaven. It's. I mean, I don't believe that. Obviously, we don't believe that in the West. Christians don't believe that, but they can do. It's a free country. At least they're not over here saying it. I would much rather people be enjoying their own culture in their own country. I want to have our own culture here, and they can enjoy their own culture there. We got it, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, there can be Muslims here that enjoy our culture, but I want it to be mostly a Christian country. That's what I would like to see. I would like it to be majority Christian, and also, I don't want it to become Mexico or Africa. I want it to stay America. I also want those things to be true as well. And I don't care if they're racist. That's what I want. That's what everyone who has a brain and understands the consequences of our culture changing wants as well. And if you don't want that, then either you're virtue signaling or you just don't, you seriously don't understand what it will be like to live in that new country. It will be a different place and it will suck. So we have also here Yemen launching another missile attack against Israel too. So they're firing back. Is the Middle Eastern Brigade of Countries on Israel. Go ahead and put up C3. This is an article and it goes into detail. So a ballistic missile was launched by Israel by the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen and it was successfully intercepted by air a short while ago, the military says. Sirens had sounded in the Jerusalem area, southern West Bank settlements, and some areas of central and southern Israel. Preceding the sirens by 3 minutes, an early warning was issued to residents, alerting civilians of the long-range missile attack via a push notification on their phones. Since March 18th, the IDF, since they resumed their offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip, the Houthis in Yemen have launched 46 ballistic missiles and at least 11 drones at Israel. So they're firing away. And Israel's defense, because we paid for it, is one of the best in the world. But the thing about that is it already is existing in that state. When they fire these missiles, they know most of them are going to be intercepted. They're just doing it as a provocation. They're not actually killing people. They know that because almost all these missiles get intercepted. Occasionally, one will go through, but it almost never happens. So it's kind of dumb, really, when you think about it, because I look at everything through resources. Resources are being wasted, and human life is being taken. How is that a good thing? I hate so many parts of humanity, to be honest, because so many humans just want to kill and destroy over every little thing. And then it becomes, oh, you killed me, I want to kill more of you. Okay, you killed more of me, I want to kill more of you. And it's just this cycle of mining out materials from the ground, building killing machines, and then using those killing machines to kill people, which then leads to more materials being mined out of the ground, more trucks being used. You haul the metal in, you bring it to a factory, you turn it into something that can kill as many people as possible. Then you send it back out. Then you hire someone in the military. You have to pay them with your tax dollars. And then that person goes to the front lines where they're probably going to die and never see their family again. And if they get lucky and don't die, then all they're doing is just killing other people and using all of those materials that they mined out of the ground and then put it in the factory and then turn it into a killing machine. They're using it just to kill people. And imagine if that same truck mined those same materials, instead of turning it into a killing machine, they turned it into a car for someone who needed it for the same price. You could probably make 10 cars for the same price as one bomb in a lot of these cases. Bombs are expensive. And then firing the bomb is also expensive. And having all of that done really for no constructive purpose, when you could just say, okay, why don't we just not attack each other, is dumb. It's dumb. And we're participating in it at a higher level than anyone else. We're wasting more resources on that than anyone else. We could building houses for homeless people. Most of them are drug addicts. Some homeless people do deserve a house. A lot of them will never be able to live in a house because they'll just turn it into a drug den. So I'm a little critical of that. A lot of people think I'm being mean, and I am a little bit. But what you have to understand is I've had family members who have been addicted to drugs before. I've never personally had to deal with that, thank God. I've stayed away from it my whole life just because I felt like it, because it looked like it was bad. Before I even had any reason to, when I was young, I said, oh, that stuff looks bad, I'm going to stay away from it. But people in my family have been addicted to it before, and these people have brought them into it. My sister, by the way, is actually right now 5 years sober, which I'm very, very proud of her for. She's one of the examples. She went through a lot in her life dealing with that, and she was brought into it by other people. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who do drugs and share drugs, and that is most homeless people, unfortunately. If we could stop the drugs from coming in, then there's a way to redeem those people. But right now, it's just a crazy situation. Anyway, that was a long, dumb tangent. The point I'm trying to make is that we could use that money to build houses for people, for young people, for example. If you just got out of college and you need a place to stay while you're building your life, if you need a place to stay while you have kids and start a family and it's really hard to afford something, we could build you a free house. And you'd still have to pay something, I guess, but we could build it for really cheap. We could use that military budget, those same pieces of metal that are used to put in the bombs and in the planes that are turned into killing machines. That same piece of metal could instead be in the wall of a house, could be part of the frame. There's metal framed houses, those same resources, the same time, even the same people potentially. You could use that wood, those resources, that time to build houses for the same cost, and then no one has to die. That's somewhat dumb and unrealistic when you consider the way the world is and that you need some military force. But imagine if we just said we're going to take 600 billion of that we use to build all this stuff and to use all these resources. And you could even keep people who are hired currently in the military. And you could say, hey, if you want to stay, the military is now going to be used to help people instead of to kill people. And we still have the strongest military. We're still going to be safe. We're still protected, but we don't have to get involved in all the foreign conflicts to such a high degree, because most of the time our involvement ends up hurting in the long run anyway. So don't get involved with that. Don't waste it. Don't give it to all these companies with the high profit margins. Don't give it to Palantir with all their big military contracts. Just don't do it. Instead, use it for good. And imagine where our country would be in 5 years. A lot more people will be having kids. A lot more young people will be having kids and feel comfortable financially doing so. We would have happy young faces everywhere we look. Happy babies laughing. There should be way more babies that you see all around us. There's a lot less. A lot of them are leaving the nice areas too because they can't be afforded for young families. That's what I want to see instead of the killing. And it's so easy to do. And it's baffling to me. It's baffling that they just can't do it. They can't pass a bill that does that. There's so many ways to help people and make our country way better, way more productive, to embrace all the things that we want. I hope everyone agrees with me, because the more people that agree, the better it will be. If Earth is flat, why are Russia and Alaska so close to each other? Good point. Yeah, Earth has to be Earth has to be round. You got us. You got us. I mean, I like the flat Earth theory because it's funny. Obviously, the Earth is round. Everyone knows that. You can see if you look at it from a satellite. You can if you can do tests yourself. You can if you fly in a plane, you can see the time difference between the distance and when you. There's a lot of things you can do. You can look at it through a telescope at the stars and then track it at different points in time. So there's lots of ways you can find out the Earth is round. But that said, I love flat earthers. I think they're some of the coolest people, and they're always some of the most based people too, and some of the most right about other things. So that's why I'll always love flat earthers, even though the Earth definitely isn't flat. Tyrese, I have noticed that they have changed the way it looks here now. Many dark gray chemical clouds that look like fog. Until you follow the outline and notice the color, and more night spraying. Now, people think that's crazy, but it's not. It's not crazy. If you look at some of the chemical plane stuff that's been done for the crops, they already are confirmed to be dropping pesticides and other chemicals from planes. We already know that for a fact. What do you think happens when those pesticides decide to go into water molecules and then go into clouds, and those clouds move, and then it rains? What do you think happens? You're being showered by pesticides. You're being showered by poison. That can cause cancer. That can cause problems. That's real. That we know. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's what's happening. And it's happening more than you even know. And it's not just that. Cloud seeding is also real. And that does require a chemical process. What is the byproduct of those chemicals? What does it do to the atmosphere long term? People are dumb. Even scientists, everyone's dumb. Every single person is dumb. And no one really knows the truth about what's going to happen, except for maybe a select few, and maybe those of us who care to research. But no one really, truly, fully understands. Even us, we can't fully understand the impacts of this and what it's going to do. So that's one of the things where you look at it and you say, oh, that person must be a conspiracy theorist. They must be crazy. But then you look at it further and you realize, wait a second. Maybe, just maybe, that's not a conspiracy either. Maybe that also maybe that also is something we need to look at and we need to be paying close attention to and even potentially stopping, because we don't want to have cancer. We don't want to die. We don't want their global depopulation agenda to work. And so we really have to take that seriously. As much as it would be nice to call it a conspiracy, we can't. Well, friends, gonna go now. Grandson Leo coming over while the parents are at work. I don't have summers off much. Have a blessed weekend. We're about to get off anyway. Nana. We will be getting off. But that sounds nice. It's gonna be a great weekend for everyone, hopefully. We have to have the best, greatest weekend ever and relax and not think too much about all the political drama. We'll take a break from it. We'll turn our brains off and just enjoy the weather, enjoy the beautiful summertime. That is my favorite time of year, especially depending on where you are. It can be pond season right now, so maybe a little less fun, but still, it's summer. Go to the pool. Go have some fun. Maybe Ashley St. Clair clocked him. That's so funny. Yeah, no, she's truly crazy. She is truly crazy. If pesticides work, would I still be here? Apollo, spray the pesticide. Whenever Jeff's being bad in the chat, spray the pesticide, and we'll get rid of. That's how we get rid of. That's hilarious, Jeff. That's a good question. How does that make logical sense? We're gonna destroy these people. We're gonna destroy all of them. We're already on the path to destroy them. But with that said, it's time to enjoy the weekend. It's time to say adios to today's episode, and we will see you hopefully, crossing my fingers, with Joe on Monday. I really want him to be able to be here. Again, it's not his fault. He is being forced to go to court. He doesn't have a choice. If he doesn't do it, they send out a warrant for his arrest. So he has to be there. He has to be at court. And it's not a basketball court. It's not a fun court. It's the boring, tedious court. He has to deal with documents and papers and craziness and accusations. And we're going to have so many stories next week. I can promise you that. Or if it's not Monday, whenever he's able to join, it is going to be one of the craziest shows we've ever had. So you have to tune into that. You have to be there. I think I just want to double check that we're at an hour and 7. So we're over the hour mark. We need to make sure we're always over the hour mark, even though it's Friday. It's time to enjoy the weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and do the prayer. If you want to bow your head with me. And also, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't liked yet, if you're watching for the first time, I really hope you come and join us. And even if you don't subscribe, you know where we are every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, every weekday. We are right here. We are doing a show. And hopefully you have more fun hanging out with us than anyone else. If you do, then come back every day. If you don't, then that's fine too. You can go watch someone else. You can go watch Viva, or you can go watch Mark Dice, or maybe Steven Crowder, whoever you want. There's plenty of options. Hopefully you find us to be the best one, though, out of all those. Now, that said, we're going to go ahead and do the prayer, and then I'll say goodbye for the weekend. Go have a nice weekend with my family. Hopefully you do too. And see you on Monday. Dear Lord, we're watching bombs that are falling all across the world. We're watching tensions escalate, and the power of nuclear capability to destroy humanity, to destroy civilization, is so utterly terrifying. And it's a scary time to be here on Earth. It's a scary time to see the things that are unfolding, to see people going further away from God, to see people going further away from you, to see people who are in a state of evil, who are finding a path towards the devil, who are finding a path towards gluttony and craziness and abortions and all this stuff that's just so bad. And yet people have made it their identity. People have made it what they want to be. People have found ways to infiltrate the government and use it to fund military operations that are not necessary and are taking human life and are taking babies away and not giving them a chance to live here on Earth. You made Earth. You gave us this opportunity. No one understands it fully. But I know we're here for a reason. You put us here for a reason. We want everyone to be able to enjoy that. And we have free will. We have the ability to decide what we do when we do it. But we also have you. And we also have a need for you. And we need everyone's hearts to be opened up to you. We need help. We need the ability for everyone to be able to see what is right and what is wrong more clearly, and to have a pull towards the right thing, and give us the strength to be able to help to use our message to hopefully do that more. Give us the ability to reach the strength so that we can make a difference in this world in a positive way, and give everyone the opportunity to do here on earth what you created us to be able to do. Amen. Got anything else, Apollo, before we get off? Anything you wanna comment on? Any crazy stories that we haven't or that we missed or anything like that? There we go. Hope everyone has a good weekend. And I said like 800 times, I think I'm just excited for the weekend, but hope you have a good one, and we'll see you on Monday.